You said you were curious what would happen. I want you to close your eyes, Will. Imagine what you would like to happen.
In what for me was one of the best finales a TV show has ever had, Hannibal Season 2 left us with a staggering amount of unanswered questions and left the viewer on the edge of their seat and eager to see the direction of which Season 3 is heading. Now of course, no one knows what's going to happen in Season 3 yet. This is just my speculation and predictions for what I think, and will hope, is going to happen throughout Season 3. So let's get the death out of the way. First and foremost, we want to know who's going to live and who's going to die. Hannibal left Will, Abigail, Alana and Jack all bleeding out and clutching onto their lives. And Bryan Fuller has already told us that not everyone is getting out that house alive. To add to that, we have to wait until episode 2 of Season 3 to find out their fate. Audacious, eh? So let's start with who I'm most certain is going to die. And that's Abigail. My reason behind that, she was revealed to be alive in the final third of the final episode last season, with the sole purpose for Hannibal to rip her straight away from Will again. I mean, she was theoretically dead all season long anyway, until the reveal in the final moments. So this time with her life hanging in the balance, I'm more certain than ever that she will not be surviving a second time. And it makes sense as well for her character arc for her story to end here.
The place was made for Abigail in your world. You understand? That place was made for all of us. Together.
The two biggest question marks for me are over Jack and Alana's heads. So far I'm getting the feeling that only one of them is going to make it out alive. Alana has sort of served a purpose now in a way really. Hannibal got back at Will whilst completely blinding Alana to his true actions. And to be honest, I feel that out of the big three, she's the one that could die without having any sort of adverse effect. Jack, however, is another story. Killing off a character with the calibre of Jack Crawford and veering away from the source material drastically could lead to putting some viewers off. Me personally, I'm all for what Bryan Fuller's doing. Grafting his own story with elements from the novels and films mixed in gives us the best of both worlds. But killing off Jack? Man, I hope that doesn't happen. Not just because Lawrence Fishburne makes a kick-ass Jack Crawford, but the character himself is huge in the Hannibal lore. Remember as well that Lawrence Fishburne has a new recurring role in the TV show Blackish, which adds more tension to the fact that his character might not be back for Season 3. Saying that though, the past weeks circulating the internet have been a string of interviews, where Lawrence Fishburne has been said to quote that he will indeed be returning for Season 3. This time in a much smaller role. It makes sense really if it turns out to be true. Since Jack's lost a staggering amount of blood, I imagine he will be spending quite a prolonged time in the hospital ward recuperating anyway.
Hello? Jack.
And last but certainly the most important is Will. Will is alive, I have no doubt about that whatsoever. Yes, he's not in the Silence of the Lambs or Hannibal films much, if at all, but you have to remember, the show isn't entirely based from them. The first 2 seasons have been built firmly around the relationship that Hannibal and Will share, so to suddenly take away one of those 2 standing pylons would be a massive decision. I wouldn't put it past Bryan Fuller doing it, I just believe firmly that Will is alive, and that after recovering from his injuries, he's going to embark on a quest for vengeance as he tries to track down and locate exactly where Hannibal went. Plus, another aspect to back up the theory of Will surviving is this clip from the beginning of the Red Dragon movie. Take note where Will gets stabbed. Now contrast to that, this is where Will gets stabbed in the Hannibal Season 2 finale. You can see already that the stab wounds are in very close proximity from movie to TV. Naturally it's a different time scale, but the similarities are there for everyone to see. And Will of course survived the injury in the Red Dragon film. Right, so with the most prominent subject out of the way, it's time to move on to the actual direction which Season 3 could take. I imagine we will begin some months into the future, and it looks like we're set to be in a brand new location somewhere abroad, with speculation at the moment leading to France. It's going out on a limb, but Season 3 could very much base itself on many of the aspects from Hannibal Rising. Fuller has already stated that he loves integrating more and more of the Hannibal novels and lore in and out of the show, and characters such as Lady Murasaki have already been mooted to appear in Season 3. Lady Murasaki, by the way, is Hannibal's aunt, who is believed to be living in France. Hint hint. I won't go into any more detail regarding the Hannibal Rising story, but I may do a separate video on it with all its possibilities in the future. So Hannibal has escaped the clutches of the FBI, he's travelling with Bedelia, and at the moment her motives for being with Hannibal are intriguingly unknown. Since near the beginning of Season 2, Hannibal went to her house to kill her off, but she was able to dodge a bullet on that one, as she knew exactly what was coming. So with the duo now together and probably living together wherever they are, I imagine that Hannibal will have gone into hiding. At least sort of. He will have changed his identity, changed his appearance to some degree, and be living a new life somewhere out of the obvious gaze of the FBI. He will still be up to his same old tricks, but now it's around a bunch of brand new faces who are going to be none the wiser.
Dr. Fell? Chief Inspector Rinaldo Pazio di Questura.
Commendatore, how can I be of service?
Step in, Will Graham. After all of what Hannibal has put him through, he will want nothing less than to give Hannibal exactly what he deserves. Our two protagonists may spend half the season apart, but once he has his bearings back and he's up on his feet, he will collaborate with Jack, if he's alive of course, to track down Hannibal so that once again, another game of cat and mouse can ensue. Only this time, it will be the other way around. I honestly wouldn't be surprised with Season 3 ending with the other half of the scene I showed earlier. Since Will has already been stabbed, it's now down to Hannibal to take the bullet. Will Hannibal get chucked into Baltimore at the end of the season, to leave the reverse of Season 1's ending for us to see? Quite possibly, but again it depends entirely on if they want to go out with a bang like they did Season 2. So now we have the story and direction out of the way, it's just really the anomalies that are left. And certainly not a small anomaly is Mason Verger. Is he going to be involved in Season 3 at all? It's very, very hard to say. It certainly wouldn't be hard to integrate his character into the series by any means. I mean, with Will chasing after Hannibal, throw Mason and some goons in there as well who are also trying to catch Hannibal, and you have a very similar plot to the Hannibal film itself. I doubt anyone in there will be against seeing any more of Mason, except his face of course, since he's clearly going to be after some sweet revenge as he'll want to fulfill his savage quest of feeding Hannibal to his pigs.
I will always be grateful for how he's helped me. I only hope that I may repay him one day.
Now, I've referenced the Hannibal films more than once, and I've been asked this question a few times. A question about a certain character that's yet to make an appearance in the show. That being, one Clarice Starling. Do I think she'll appear in Season 3? No. No, I don't. Currently, they don't own the rights anyway, but I know the showrunners are working tirelessly in their efforts to try and acquire the rights to the character, and hopefully their efforts won't be in vain. Another character that I feel won't be involved in Season 3 at all is Frederick Chilton. Another character whom I firmly believe is still alive. After being shot, we have had no mention of him or Miriam, and I think that's intentional. And with Will and Hannibal's journey taking them away from the eye of the Baltimore hospital, Chilton's re-emergence will have to wait until the story comes around full circle. That just about wraps everything up from me. Do you think my predictions are right? Will they integrate a large amount, if any, of the Hannibal Rising story into Season 3? Who will live and who will die? I want to know your theories and predictions below. I read all the comments and it's always great to see other fans' opinions on the show. As always, thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. and I'll see you next time.
I almost feel guilty about eating it.
I never felt guilty eating anything.